Hello, Fairfax County Public Schools. We're not in a school today, but we're actually at the Lorton Transportation Center here in Fairfax County, right by 95, and we're with Dereke Tapscott.
How you doing, everybody?
Dereke is a 2002 Herndon student who I knew when I was an administrator there at Herndon, and we're going to talk a little bit. We've talked and kicked off the year talking about the power of why we do what we do. And I really wanted to come here today and talk a little bit about your why, Dereke. Tell me a little bit about why you're here in Fairfax County Public Schools.
I graduated in 2002 and started driving the bus by 2003, all because my great-grandmother, my mother, and my aunt all drove.
Really?
That kind of pushed us all out
and
here.
And you still have the IDs from that time?
Yes, sir.
This was
my great-grandmother there.
Your great-grandmother?
Yes.
1971. Drove a bus for Fairfax County?
Yes, for 30 years.
Oh my God, and then?
This is my grand aunt, which is her daughter. She drove for 30 years. She was the first African-American route supervisor.
Wow.
And then my mother drove for 20 years before she passed away in 2005.
I'm sorry for your loss, Dereke.
Thank you.
So your whole family has been involved in FCPS transportation over the generations?
Yes, sir, and we've all been here before the one ahead of us retired.
What makes you've now been at it how many years?
About 16 years now.
What makes you want to continue that family legacy?
My office moves, is out in the open, and seeing children every day.
Now, Dereke, you were a student in Fairfax and now you're driving other students. One of the things we've talked about in the theory of action for our support employees as a welcoming and culturally responsive environment, high-performing teams, and also operational excellence. But I want to talk about a welcoming, culturally responsive environment. How do you make this bus a home for these kids that you drive every day?
Well, driving the bus, we're not only just driving, we also mothers, fathers, counselors, anything that the kids need, because we're the first one they see every morning. So the good morning really helps a lot of them. They look forward to seeing it.
What has been the most exciting thing that you've experienced as being a bus driver here in Fairfax County?
Seeing kids, because I've been doing it long enough now to have a kindergartner come back that's graduated from college. So now you're like, I've been doing it that long.
Oh my gosh. You mean like a superintendent comes back and sees a student who's now been a 16-year employee for the system.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you show me your bus? Show me your home away from home. We've talked a lot about equity in Fairfax County and the power of really having an equity lens on all that we do. As you look back at your family, what's the equity lens that we need to recognize with your family and all they did for Fairfax County and transportation and some maybe the challenges that they faced?
Over the years, a lot of things have changed for the good. My aunt, who could only drive African-American students, ended up being a route supervisor by the time she left.
Your aunt could only drive African-American students when she started?
Yes, Luther Jackson was the only high school for African-American students at that time.
Wow.
But by the time she retired, she ended up being a route supervisor.
Wow, so she got promoted through a system that really had put up a barrier for employees to be a part of. Really, we talk about access and opportunity gaps. It was really an access and opportunity gap for employees and frankly for kids.
Yes.
Your great-grandmother, did she ever tell you stories about her early history here in Fairfax?
She had passed before I was born, but I remember my aunt saying, they dealt with a lot, of course, back then, because she started driving in the 50s, so.
Wow. It was just a whole different school system at that time.
They always got the, buses that were retired from the other students. They never got new ones. They said it had holes in the floor and all that kind of stuff like that, but then.
Have you ever thought about the power of, we're trying to connect with students in every classroom, but frankly, we're trying to connect with students everywhere, in a classroom, on a school bus, in the cafeteria. How have you been able to take a personal connection and maybe connect with a kid that's not being connected with in other parts of the system?
Well, you have to take the time to really read the child and get to learn what makes them click. And when you do that, they actually look forward to talking to you then, if you actually make eye contact.
But do you have time to do that as a bus driver? And should a bus driver just be focused more on driving the bus and not connecting with kids? What's the answer to that about, I don't have time to do that?
We have the time. I mean, the runs are not that long, but any encouragement talking to them helps. So just that little bit, if it's 5 minutes, helps them.
Well, Dereke, you've been an amazing role model for kids and for other Fairfax County Public School employees. And I want to thank you and your family for the legacy of excellence they have given Fairfax County.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. So I'm with Derek, and I'm with Francine Furby, our Director of Transportation, and now I'm going to get the fun to experience what our bus drivers have to do every day.
You gently let your foot off the brake, Dr. Brabrand.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. All righty. Oh my goodness, you really got to know what you're doing here. Wow. Okay. That's enough driving for me today.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Fairfax County Schools.